Let's check out FAS. Now, I've said this multiple times. Be very careful with FAS because it can move extremely fast. Like if you remember back over here in June, we went from 115 to 96 in 2 days. So when we made this nice little high right here of 128, it made sense that we'd have some type of pullback. We'll see that with majority of the banks. However, it has recovered nicely in a sense. I wouldn't really say that it's the best recovery. However, it is above the 50% mark, which is good. If we can stay above 1574, then I would say that it is a buy. So just keep out for that. Just remember this can flush extremely fast. As in, this was what, last Friday? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, so last Friday we hit the high of 128 a week ago Friday. And then 1 week we were at 128 and dropped all the way down to 112. So it's basically the same distance of 115 down to 96. So just keep that in mind. I don't see anything really wrong with banking. I'm just keeping this in mind that it can move extremely fast. Now, I still believe that we're headed higher, right? I see us going to targets of 134 to 143. However, I don't know how we're going to get there. It could be extremely choppy. It could do it in 3 days. So just be careful. KKR. Uh, I don't really see anything wrong. I do see that we're going down. That's obvious, but we're above the 50% mark. We touched below it, but then they literally kissed the 100% mark of here, which I would say is a little bit more important than dropping below this 50. I understand that once it drops below the 50, then the momentum has pretty much shifted. But on this one particular situation, I don't really see that because we touched the 100%, and then on Friday, this is like on Thursday, literally Thursday. Then Friday we bounce right back and we kiss the 127 of the 100%. So it was a pretty massive move within 2 days. So, what basically did, well, really in 1 week, we started at 65, went all the way down to 61, and now back at 63. So just be careful. Everything has to do with the general banking. The market had a nasty week last week too, so that makes sense. And let's not forget it was option expiration on Friday, so that could have a lot of basically the big boys trying to basically make their money, right? So they bought their options down here and they sold them to everybody who right here. So they made their massive amounts of money and then they drop it, right? So then they can buy the options back for nothing and they didn't lose anything. They made everything. Bank of America. It's not the prettiest of charts. However, look where this is just crazy. Look at all this basically, it went literally nowhere. But what I do enjoy about this is we kissed the 50% of this massive move from 8.3 to 8.12. So that was 37 to 42, $5 move. And then look where we ended up. We ended up right at that 50 and the larger line right here. So I like this one. I wouldn't say that this is the best looking chart in the whole entire world, but as long as we can stay above this 39.97 area, I think that's 39.97, but this area right here, then I would say buy. If you're anxious or a little risky, then this would be a place to buy with a known stop of 39.97. Let's talk to Chuck. Yeah, I like this one as well. I'm not too keen that it dropped below the 50. However, it dropped below and did not close below. It closed above. So, and then now the very next day, we're looking for it to go higher, right? Well, the very next day it did go higher. So on, I like this one a little bit better than Bank of America. Just the structure of it looks a little bit better for me. BlackRock. Now this was a massive drop. Kind of like, well, this was worse. Not gonna lie, that was worse. Hit the high 924, which I mean I expected, which was great. Couldn't have played it any better. Then we dropped from 924 to 880, 888, and now we are literally knocking on the doors of the high. So I really like Thursday would have been the best time to buy this, but of course, in 2 days this went from basically 90 to basically went 30 points up. I see us we're going to 946 to 976 relatively quick, but just be careful because we could fall out of bed before, right? All really depends on the market. But if I was a betting man, this is what you want to see. It didn't even get close. Well, it got close, but it didn't hit the 50% mark. So if you on your percentages or whatever, this is a higher percentage trade than the other ones. Let's look at where are we at. Let's look at TROW price. And I like this one too. Look at this. I like it because we took out Wednesday's high, and we did it really fast, like 2 days, and we're back in it. So if you should have been on it already because it's already moved 7 points. However, yeah, 219, here we come. And if we can break out of that, 225. Mr. Goldman Sachs, this might be the golden. I don't really like it. I mean, it's decent. Now, if we were to run our lines not from August 3rd, but if we were to run it from the September 19th, or what is that? July 19th area, then you can see it. We're above the 50%, pretty nice. We're kissing the 618, right? So on the larger scale, it's still extremely bullish just on the short term of this. Let me just click it on there. The short term, which is like right here, we're below the 50. But on the longer term, which is like a month, a little bit, actually just about a month and 2 days, then we're well above the 50% and we're kissing the 618, which that would be an indication of a buy with the well-defined exit at 382. Blackstone, this stock is fabulous. We come all the way down to the 50, did not get to the 50, and we are already back up to the 786. Took out Thursday or Wednesday's low, or high rather, and I say, here we come, 117. Up to 121 would be my prediction. Maybe not this week, but within the next couple of weeks, we're looking for 121. NTRS, kind of, of all of them, it's went a little bit too far into the 50% mark. However, I'm sorry. If we run it kind of like with Goldman Sachs and we run it back over the way over to here, then we basically were kissing the 50% mark and we're right back above the smaller 50% mark. So with well-defined exit at 113.79 area, this one right here, then you could, if you're aggressive, go ahead, jump on in, but just be careful because, everything has to do with the market. And when do we have dividend? Where is this? On 9/9. So we have about 2 weeks before the stock should drop 70 cents. So just keep that in mind. CME, I am very disappointed in CME. I figured when we were back up here, this is 3 to 4 weeks ago, we would at least test the high. But since that point in time, we have just cratered. And it does not look good for CME Group, which is kind of surprising because they beat on their earnings. So if you're aggressive, you could get in at the 197, or get in right here. But your exit would be 197.39. Just be patient. I wouldn't touch this at all. Maybe I would short it, but not go long, just for the simple fact it does not look good. And look at the volume on that. The volume like trumps everything else. So just be very careful if you're trying to get into CME.